you. play it almost seemed like it was just praise. Like we were being critical of the stuff we need to fix. Obviously, offensively wise, turnovers and penalties, we really got to cut those down. However, I thought that we battled really well against Huron. They had some really, really good athletes. Some guys who were better than I think we even thought, which was really fun to see our guys step up to the plate and say, we're going to get this done.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and just talk about rugby right off the bat right here. 5 touchdowns. He has a hand in 5 of them. 3 rush, 2 passing, and some big runs as well. Just really showing his rumbling rugby skills.
Yeah, he is a unique individual who's really fun to watch. And just watching his confidence, from freshman year, I was a freshman coach whenever he was a freshman. So I've been able to coach him every step of the way, which is, it's really fun to see just how confident he now is in his abilities. Right away, as a freshman, he was killing it at safety and excuse me. And I kind of thought that Colpitts was going to end up having him whenever we got up to this level. And he stepped into that quarterback role, and he's so confident out there that it just brings the guys around him up. He knows that he's going to sacrifice everything for them, and I think the guys realize that, so they do whatever they can to help him make the play or help him get the ball to somebody who can't make the play.
How much was it, or how important was it this week to kind of just get on the right track? Obviously, it was a 4 out of 5 games, kind of a rough stretch for the Bucks, and you never sleep on an opponent. Huron can be dangerous, just like anyone in 11 AA. But how important was it to just get things right, kind of see it on the field in live reps, correct some things, get back on track?
It was huge. This week was a really fun week of practice. We had a decent amount of the freshmen stay around after their last game. Obviously, we got the JV guys there all week now, and it just seemed like practice was amped up. Guys understood that the last few weeks, the competitiveness was almost down. I thought kind of coming from those games, Roosevelt and Central, I just didn't feel like we were competing as well as we could, and I think the guys kind of felt that too. And this week they flipped it and they just said, we're going to get back to where we were. We're going to be that team who, when we put our stuff on film, people are nervous to come play us. And I think they showed that on Thursday night. It was a really fun time.
Coach Colpitts, another week, another big special teams play, getting back in there and blocking a punt. And so overall, walk us through. Hey, if it does require fingers, then it's a block.
Yeah. No, I thought this was their best game, special teams wise, across the board, which is nice because the week before I thought we had one of our worst special teams games. So, credit to the guys just being able to take coaching, to learn from their mistakes, and to go out and execute on a Friday night, which is never an easy thing to do. Those guys have come a long ways this year, and there's been a lot of shuffling with, whether it's injuries, whether it's guys moving up, getting more playing time, on offense, defense. A lot of those guys were mostly, they started out JV and now they've come a long ways, and they've developed and they've turned into some really good players. And it's fun. It's always fun to be the special teams coordinator, because you get kind of the first taste of what some of the future offense and defensive players are going to be like too. Just watching them develop and grow. And so it was a good night, and gives us a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. I thought that when we played Brookings last time, that was our best special teams game up to that point. And so there's a lot of opportunity on the field, this Thursday, to make some really big plays and set up our offense and defense in good spots.
All right. Did Hale come in today? I didn't see him come in.
He's here today.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to ask him about Paulson, because I have some things to ask. No, but
55-yard field goal questions or what?
Yep, very specific. I want to know if he was sweating on the sideline, or no, in the booth. Excuse me. Yeah. If he was up there,
he was quiet. He was quiet.
Go for it. Oh no! Just joking, no. The secondary, Coach Colpitts, another great night for them. I'm very impressed. Some of the receivers. I mean, so sometimes Mason Davis had some time in the pocket. He had, actually, let's be honest, he had a lot of time sometimes. And, those defensive backs and safeties did a nice job of covering. Sometimes they're behind their defender, but they did a nice job kind of reaching around, not getting a pass interference, just really strategic and just smart play from them.
Yeah, and a lot of that goes to the fact that they're a very experienced bunch. We have a lot of seniors in the defensive back room, and I thought they played a good game. Coming into it, we knew Huron had some talent. Number 88's a talented tight end, and number 18 is, a very fast kid. He's, I believe he's a state finalist in the 100-meter dash. There's a lot of talent on the field, and their quarterback did a nice job of putting the ball in good spots, and their coaches did a good job of seeing where we were weak and attacking those things. But, man, I just love the way our guys flew around. We talked about it in the newspaper. I think Coach Muth talked about it in the newspaper. Coach Huber talked about it yesterday at film. But our guys just played without fear. Fear of failure. Just if they were going to make a mistake, they were going to make it 100 miles an hour. And there was times where we did make a mistake, but because we played fast, we were able to execute, and they didn't benefit off of it at all. So it was a fun night to watch. And I don't know how many pass attempts did they have. I haven't seen the stats.
Well, let's just go into our stats.
Yeah.
Shall we?
It had to be a lot.
Yeah, he was that quarterback.
But yes, Coach Colbus did put me on the spot. So
I'm sorry. It had to be
47.
I was going to say it had to be over
47.
40.
Yeah.
47 passes.
I think that was probably Mason Davis's best passing game of his career.
He looked very good that game.
Our defense, I'll talk to Coach Olson about this as well. And this is not an insult, it's actually a positive. But so the Vikings right there this season are 5-1, right? Okay, so let's just make sure I throw that out today. But there's a lot of times where the middle of the field defense, they'll be giving up yards, chunks of yards at a time. That was kind of Thursday night with Huron. But at the end of the day, Yankton stopped them when they needed to stop them. They got the stops.
Yeah,
and that's just kind of very similar to me.
Yeah, and there was some of that was adjustments. We were dropping a middle linebacker to the middle of the field, which it's Matthew Sheldon, who's a stud athlete, but he's also not used to being in that role of dropping 30 yards downfield and covering a talented receiver. But he did a really good job.
He stepped up. That was impressive.
It was, and we did a lot of adjusting on the fly. And so once again, credit to the guys being able to just kind of flow with things we didn't quite practice as much during the week, just because they came out with a little bit different attack. But man, my biggest disappointment is 47 passes, and we didn't have a single interception. That part's a little frustrating, but
a lot of balls batted down though.
Yeah.
There was a lot of balls batted down. And that's a victory in itself. But, a credit to their quarterback and their scheme too, because, those guys, that was their last game of the year, and they just laid it all out on the line. And fortunately, our athletes played a little bit better than their athletes.
All right, last two for Coach Huber. Excuse me. All right, the Yankton Moving Company did a nice job Thursday night under some pressure, and giving rugby time to go through multiple reads. Just kind of talk about them real quick.
Yeah, actually, all season these guys were in a 3-4, and they came out in the forefront, which it's fine for us because obviously we play against it. We talk about these are adjustments if that stuff happens, and our guys adjusted really well up front. Not only that, but their communication to me was the best communication we've had all season. I had guys coming off the field. I always tell them, you're out there. I can see so much. We can see so much from the booth, but you guys, you're there. You know what's going on. And they were coming off the field saying, Coach, they're in these 2 eyes. They're in this 3. They're in a wide 9, wherever they're at. And that is huge for us to be able to work together so that I can put them in the right spot, and then they can go out and make the play. I thought that they really stepped up this game. Like you said, rugby, I thought this was some of the most time he's had in the pocket without having to, get flushed out. And obviously there were some rushes that got through. There's still stuff that we can improve on, but I think they took a big step in the right direction. I'm really proud of that group of guys.
Obviously, a victory was a victory, but the Brookings victory earlier in the season wasn't perfect. So what are you looking at for practice this week going into the playoffs?
Yeah, this excuse me, we kind of talked to the guys last week, that this last regular season of the game is our first round of playoffs, and now we're in the second round. In our opinion, this is where we need to be able to go out and play pretty much perfect all week. Yeah, we're going to make mistakes, but our effort and our attitude toward the practice needs to be perfect. We can't drop the ball this week because there is no tomorrow. And I like when all of us coaches are kind of on the same page of what's the point of waiting. If you wait, what are you saving for? You're not saving for anything. Nothing's going to come on Friday if you save yourself for Friday. You have to give it all on Thursday, and we'll get rested up and get ready for the following week. Brookings is going to be really tough. I know that those guys are going to be coming after us because there's a few things that we didn't do against them. That first quarter we had against them was phenomenal. That was probably one of our best starts to a football game. And then we had a big lull in the second quarter, and I don't think we scored any points the second quarter last time, which can't happen. We got to keep our foot on the gas the entire time.
I lied. The last question is actually for Colpitts. Austin Goebel.
Yeah.
Right. The kick return touchdown gets taken back with a holding. I want you at practice to let him know that The only person more upset than him than that being brought back wasn't his family, wasn't friends, team, anyone. It was myself. Okay. And if he doesn't believe me, he can go watch it back on YouTube and see my reaction when I found out there was a flag. I'll give you a preview. It was no. So no, but obviously I think it still would have went to the house without the holding, looking back at it. But he's had so many of those this season. Turf monster or just shoelace tackles, just had it brought back again.
I know. And when we watched it on film, you hate to critique reffing, but it was a tough one. It was a tough call. Because I don't know if he saw it all the way through, but our guy literally got ran over and the guy fell on top of him and they called a hold for it. It's a tough deal. But at the end of the day, they made the call and we have to adjust and move forward. But Goebel has done a really nice job early on in the year and last year. I think it's tough to figure out. People don't understand as a kickoff return guy. It's not just full speed the whole time. There's a certain amount of pace and tempo and setting up the kickoff team before you actually hit the hole that we're trying to set you up with, kind of like a counter play on offense. And so he's done a really good job as the year's gone on of figuring out, where his guys are blocking for him, setting that up. And then when he does need to go full speed, he hits it. I think that towards the end of the year, he's really turned it on offense. You saw a couple of plays where he made a nice cut and got around some guys, but he's just a very talented athlete, lacking in size, but definitely not lacking in speed and effort.
Well, I don't want to be the reason you guys don't get a special teams practice. So, coaches, get out of here. Appreciate you coming in, and good luck Thursday.
Thanks,
Appreciate it, Bryce.
All right, we'll continue the Coach's Corner when we come back.
Olson Pest Technicians is a family-owned business since 1966. And with over 50 years of pest management, they understand your issues, and their well-trained team will help you solve your pest problems. Issues with cockroaches, ants, bedbugs, bats, termites, spiders, rats, mice, or other creepy crawling pests? Give your home a fresh start and use the proven method of fumigation to take care of your pest problem. Olson's Pest Technicians will thoroughly get rid of pests so you can rest easy again. Call Olson Pest today, 800-KILL-BUG. That's 1-800-KILBUGS.
Think about how people really see you. The kid at the drive-thru just sees a coffee drinker.
Please move forward.
Your local barista sees the person who loves a smiley face in their latte.
See you next time.
It's kind of the same way with insurance. Other insurance companies just see a customer, but a State Farm agent sees more. They see you as a neighbor. Your State Farm agent is here to get to know who you really are so they can help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Rhonda Westland at 665-4411 today to learn more.
As a proud community bank, Core Trust delivers more than just checking and savings accounts. We invest in the cities and towns where we live and work by volunteering to coach youth sports teams, supporting local charities and the arts with our time and resources. Whether we live in a rural town in South Dakota or a suburban city in Minnesota, it's a place we call home. Core Trust Bank. Raise your expectations.
Member FDIC.
Do you have dry, sore, or irritated eyes? If so, you may have dry eye. At Vision Care Associates, we offer a simple, fast, and non-surgical procedure to treat black glands in your eyelids that can help your eyes to feel comfortable again. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Fieser to find out about dry eye treatment with our newest technology.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MT&RC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. MTRCSmithInsurance.com. All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. Let's continue talking Yankton Bucks football. Victorious over here on 42-14 Thursday night. Coach Muth, Coach Olson in the studio. Coaches, no matter how many times it happens, I cannot get used to saying Saturday night Bucks football or Thursday night Bucks football. Just it feels weird every year.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little break in the routine, but you know what? It was nice to have a Friday kind of to do some things with the family and Then now on Saturday here, we are getting ready to have a little special teams practice and get ready for those Brookings Bobcats.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Huron real quick first. 543 yards total offense. Everything was clicking for Yankton's offense, rushing, passing. Rugby went off for 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He had a hand in 5 touchdowns. However you want to take it, Coach Smooth.
I mean, the numbers were good, and yeah, I think Rugg would like his completion percentage probably be a little bit higher, but some of those were smart plays where you're dumping it out of bounds, just to live another down. So numbers are good. There are some things that we'd like to clean up. The 2 turnovers are 2 big ones. Still like to be a little bit better on third down and in big plays, like for instance, and it was right away, but off that block punt, you want to come away with 6 on that, not 3. But I mean, I was tickled pink to be able to take points there at all, but still, those are the kind of things we got to clean up. And so impressive night and fun night, but there's still a lot of room for improvement.
I'm going to get everyone's take on this, so I'm going to get yours, then I'm going to ask Hale later. But you decided to go for the 54-yard field goal, right? Was he silent on the headset?
No.
Was he in the booth? Was he in the booth to silent?
No. No, he actually, I'll be honest with you, he actually goes, he can actually scoot up his tee a little bit more and still have the record. So he wants him. I mean, that's because that's his athlete that he works with,
Yeah.
And does a really good job of what he does. I mean, he's really good at what he does, and coaches. And so when he said that, when that was one of the deals, I was like, oh, here we go. It's time to break that record. And he was like, all right, let's do it. Because I mean, as that's what you want. You want to be able to take someone along and see your records broken, and that's the kind of person Brady is. And he's not too high himself. He's even keel, and he knows the situation. He was excited for him and to give it the shot, and he was kind of disappointed when it didn't. The operation was off and it didn't go through. So,
well, everyone knows I like to give Hale grief about it. Of course, he's gonna be supportive, but I like to imagine in a world where he's up there like, yeah, he can scoot the tee up. He'll be fine. But no, Huron made some adjustments going into the game. This is actually for each of you. Let's start with Coach Olson. So just basing on stats, and I watched a couple of games quickly through, not like film, but it just seemed like they're a rushing first team, but they came out passing. Kind of a passing bonanza against Yankton, and obviously Yankton held strong.
Yeah, they were kind of had a balanced attack, and they rushed the ball really well in a lot of their games, and so to be honest with you, the past few games that we've played, we struggled, defending the rush, and so that's what I totally expected them to come out and run the football, and their first the first 4 plays, I believe, were all pass. Yeah. And so that kind of like, oh, okay. And I was like, all right, well, here we go. And then they did run and we shut down the run. So that was kind of fun to see our defense react to something where we prepped heavy run in practice. And obviously I think we have a really good practice plan because we do both. We break it all down, but we were definitely thinking run and they came out passing. Which is fine. We were able to get pressure and get them off script a little bit. They completed some balls. They have some really talented players. So, but yeah, I was really happy with what
players.
Happened. Yeah,
some fast players.
Oh yeah. They have a talented group. So
yeah, and then Coach Muth, kind of the same thing. I was talking to Coach Huber, obviously just your segment before yours, said that throughout the season they had 3 men down, but they came up with 4.
Yeah, just doing some different things to switch this up, and we couldn't really figure out a rhyme or reason. That was one thing I was trying to work through during the game in situations, just so we could have a little bit better count on what was going on and why they were doing that. Every piece of film we saw this year, they were a soft cover 4, just a drop 4 shell defense. And they were coming out and playing man and going flat against us. And so it's one of those things where, I mean, they were in their last game of the season, and Coach Strand is going to give kids something to fight for and give them something to work towards. And they were doing their best to take shots at us, and we fully expected that. And so I'm just happy with the way our kids responded and showed up and played a good football game. Room for improvement, but a good game.
I talked to Coach Colpitz about it just a little bit ago, but Austin Goebel's kick return touchdown taken back.
Yeah.
I told him to let Goebel know that the only person more upset than he was about it was not his family, his teammates, his friends. It was me. I was in the booth and I was just slamming my fist. No, that it got taken back. But he's had so many of those this year.
Yeah.
Turf monster, shoelace tackles, doesn't matter. he's been so close.
And you can see how special of an athlete he is in those, and it's for Coach Huber, it's a fun situation because you can find different ways to get him touches and get him the ball, and he's a huge impact player. Even when he does get a return, those the yardage that he picks up, people kind of forget that that's still yardage that you have on a football field, and so you're getting 25 yards a return. Well, that's 25 yards you're contributing to us, on the field, and so he's a dangerous weapon. I'm happy he's ours.
Cody Oswald on the defensive end had some big hits and more importantly, some big open field tackles. And he's had that all year, but I keep saying last night, but naturally, but Thursday night, it seemed like it really was standing out more.
Yeah. He kind of honed in on he was, making that shift from, strong safety to, outside linebacker and switching to our 3-5, our we call it the cheetah defense and him having to contain, be more of a presence on that edge. He struggled a little bit early on. Then each game, you could see that he's just kind of coming into his own and stuff like that, trying to get it all figured out. And last night, I mean, he had a whale of a game, like you mentioned. Containing the edge and then open field tackles and just and laying the hurt on a lot of people and being very physical, and that's what we needed.
And then I'm calling this the Coaches Corner Express show today. We're just getting coaches in, getting you to practice. So each of you have one preview question for Brookings. Obviously, it's a team that you've seen already this season. I'd say if you just look in the grand scheme, at least probably the best victory of the year so far. And just but they're going to be looking at that same film you guys are. So what are some adjustments the defense is going to be making? Working on.
We already saw they made some adjustments on offense to make their offense a little more effective, and it's gonna be tough. They're gonna have 3 horses in the back field running the football. Not easy guys to take down, so we're gonna have to really gang tackle and be really physical. That's gonna be our stressing point, I think, for this week coming up. Is we got to be more physical than they are, and just get your read and just go. And it's gonna take all 11. It's gonna take everybody more than 11 because we have more than 11. Our depth is back. So we're going to roll some guys in and just try to keep them fresh. And that's going to be our keys for Brookings coming here. And hopefully we have all that energy at Crane that'll help these guys out. But physicality, Bryce, is going to be is what we need a little more of even against Brookings compared to the last game even that we played.
And Coach Ruth, other side of the ball.
Again, it's really a question of physicality. Brookings isn't going to do anything too fancy as far as what they're going to give us defensively, but everything's going to be very sound. Jackson Eck at linebacker is one of the best linebackers in the state, and so he's the guy that we're going to have to make sure that we're aware. We know where he's at. He's going to make his plays. We can't allow those other guys to make too much of an impact on what we're doing offensively, and so the big part is Rugg's going to have to make sure he gets the ball in the right spot. They're going to play. I mean, if they stick to the game plan, and we're getting a pretty good grasp of what's going on there, but if they stick to what they've shown us, they like to play zone coverage and they know their spots on the field where they're supposed to be. We just have to make sure that we understand where we've got leverage and put the ball in those spots.
Well, coaches, congratulations on the Thursday night football victory, and have a good week of practice and a good weekend.
All right. Thanks.
Bryce, you too.
Let's Coach Olson, Coach Muth. We'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Coaches Corner.
Support a local business that supports schools and events and provides fuel discounts for Yankton's largest employers, Triple Time Rudy's. At Triple Time Rudy's, you get that local friendly feel and also a unique offering of products. You'll find quality South Dakota products like Dimmick cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers, plus quality fuel products too. Conveniently located at 17th and Broadway for your daily fill-ups and convenience needs. Pull in to Triple Time Rudy's today.
Buying or selling your home is one of the biggest decisions you may make in your lifetime. I'm Deb Speck with Vision Real Estate, and I'm ready to help guide you with professional advice from before the listing until after the close. Not only will you get real estate knowledge, but also we provide moving boxes and an enclosed courtesy trailer to help make the move just a little easier. Call me today at 664-5555.
It's the season of getting cozy, the season of warm apple ciders and sweet pumpkin pies. Before it's gone, be sure to get in the car, rev up that engine, put your pedal to the metal, and burn rubber before heading straight to the games. Fall sports are back, and First Dakota is sitting right up front with you on this adrenaline roller coaster. Raise your hands with every game-saving point, shout out your lungs when it kicks into overtime, and enjoy the ride of the season. Make some noise with First Dakota National Bank. Open a new account online today at firstdakotanationalbank.com. Member FDIC.
There are a lot of benefits for your small business when you have a relationship with your locally owned and operated The UPS Store. I'm Doug Frederick, manager of the UPS Store of Yankton. Not only do we provide excellent customer service, but we also provide the necessary tools to help your small business thrive. We can help you with everything ing, printing, packing, copying, faxing, freighting, any ing your small business needs, even shredding, notarizing, mailboxing. Every ing for your small business, and of course, shipping. The UPS Store of Yankton, across from Walmart.
Have aches and pains taken you out of your game? At First Chiropractic Centers, we have been helping people get back into their game for nearly 40 years. Whether your game is sports related, or it looks more like gardening, household chores, exercising, or just daily life, if your pain is preventing you from enjoying or participating in your chosen activity, we can help. First Chiropractic Centers, whole health with hands-on healing, with offices in Yankton, Scotland, Hardington, Tyndall, and Wagner.
Oh, I thought we'd never make it.
Me neither. I've never driven in a storm like that before.
Oh, man.
But we're home.
Yeah.
We're just a garage door away from...
Oh, what's the matter?
It's not working.
Why not?
I don't know. Who do I look like? Upper Midwest garage door?
Nah, they're much more handsome.
Don't get stuck in the cold. Before winter hits, call Upper Midwest Garage Door, your authorized Clopay dealer. They'll make sure your doors always go up so they never let you down. Online at uppermidwestgaragedoor.com.
Bring the crew to Pete's Ranch in Yankton. This is Annie, and we have legendary pizza and chicken just waiting for you on our buffet. Let us know what you're craving, and we'll make it fresh and bring you the first slice. Or let us deliver right to your front door. Your locally owned Yankton Pizza Ranch on Broadway, 665-1222.
It's where life tastes better. Surround them up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch.
Whoa, that's good.
Education. That is one of our core values here at Missouri River Associates. Just making a sale is not our number one priority here. Our office is here to educate you on your choices in the insurance world, honest and transparent with you on your coverages. Let one of our agents show you your options today. Missouri River Associates, 665-6885.
And welcome back to the Coaches Corner, our best guest of the day, Coach Radio. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, Bryce. How are you?
I'm good. Man, congratulations on the victory Thursday night. And I really emphasize saying Thursday so I don't get myself messed up anymore. I've been saying Friday like all week already. It's just, I don't know, man. The last week, when you get into playoffs in that last week, it just throws everyone off, I feel.
Yeah, Thursday, I mean, it's definitely different for high school where you can't really practice on the weekend, so you got to change your schedule a little bit. And then your work week's different because sometimes you got a game on Thursday, but then you're used to not showing up on the next day after a game, and you got to go to school on Friday. So it's a little different, but we're excited to be in the postseason and getting ready for the second season.
All right. So Trevor Paulson had a 37-yard field goal, I believe, in the game. Really nice kick. And then obviously everyone knows he was lined up for that record. Obviously you and Lane Thompson hold the 53 yard record. And kind of what was the thought process? I was giving you grief when you were in here, just like, was Hale freaking out? Of course you weren't. You're very supportive of your player and everything, but kind of tell us in real terms how the process went of deciding if it was something that he could go for.
Yeah, so that was kind of our number. Like we were talking situationally, if we got to this yard marker on the field, I mean, it's probably worth trotting him out there, see if he can make it. And, he's capable of making those kicks, and that's something that he wants to do. And when you have a kid that doesn't shy away from moments like that, and he really wants to, accomplish those things, and he's had a career to the point where he deserves some of those records and the opportunities to break some of those things. So that really wasn't, I mean, it was kind of just me telling Coach Muth that we can go here and he can make this. And he has complete trust in him. And obviously it helps when he's banged 2 field goals through prior to that. So he's in a groove, and obviously it didn't work out. We got it blocked, but the first thing he told me was, "Coach, that was going in." If it wouldn't have got blocked, he said it was going in.
And that's why I'm so excited to talk to you about that all the time, is because I know that the last 2 years or so, or however long he's been doing this, he's always, you and him have a very special relationship, obviously, but also goes with him always telling you he's going to break your record.
Yeah.
And the fact that he had a chance, it just something I came in the morning, I was like, I need to ask Hale about this.
Yeah, I mean, he's a special kid. He's going to be a college specialist at some point. And, that's just something that we kind of have the understanding about special teams together, where we've been doing it for a long time together, and we can kind of go back and forth on those things and understand that the aspects of special teams and kicking the football that maybe somebody else might not understand. So we get along great, and it's great to have that relationship with someone who cares a lot about special teams and really invests and puts time into it. So it's been great.
This is something that doesn't get a lot of love because, well, it doesn't, for obvious reasons. I mean, it's very important to the game, but with the playoffs coming up, I don't know if we're going to have a chance to talk about it again, really, but why don't you talk about, whoever you need to, about the operation of, as far as whether it's extra points or field goals. It seems like, excuse me, it's been an operation that has held steady the majority of the year, from the snap to the hold all the way to the kick.
Yeah, I'll definitely brag about those guys. So long snapping, we have two guys that have been doing it. So Charlie Foote did it for majority of the year, and then he had a little injury. And I think I'm not sure where we were. I think we were in Sioux Falls playing Roosevelt, and he got dinged up. And Carson Conway absolutely rocked it. He came right in. He came right off the bench and was snapping great. So he's doing Carson Conway's doing the long snapping, and then Charlie's still doing the short snaps on the field goals. They both do a great job, and they're out there before practice working really hard to get that stuff fine-tuned. And then I think if there was a award I could nominate for holder of the year, state AA holder, it's Lucas Campshoff. If you really focus on that, some of those snaps can be on the ground or maybe a little higher low, and it's just bang, bang, and the ball's through the uprights. So those guys do a great job making things easy for Trevor, and I'm just really proud of those guys.
Can't believe I actually almost forgot, but yeah, there was a I don't know, because I didn't look back at it yet. This is like the most underprepared for this show I've ever been, because again, Thursday into Friday, now Saturday just has thrown me off. But it was an extra point. It wasn't a botched snap or a botched hold that Campshoff had to roll up to his right and find Platt for I guess 2-point conversion.
Yeah, so I think it was a little low snap. I think if we would have just trusted things and just went with our operation, Lucas would have had it on the ground. But I mean, that's just the benefit of having him back JV football ranks, and just the things he was able to do. And he made it really easy on me as an offensive coordinator. And he's just a great kid too, saving possessions and not trying to force a ball into, tight spots, or, sometimes it might be a high school kid's thinking, well, I'm just going to give my really good athlete a chance with fun. And Coach Huber does a great job putting those guys in spots to get the ball and make plays. So it's been really fun to watch him.
Going into the Brookings matchup, obviously just in and out here. Like I said, this is the Coach's Corner Express show today. It's kind of in and out. But Coach, congratulations on the Thursday at night victory. Tell all the same to the players for me, and good luck against Brookings. Talk to you next week.
Thanks, Bryce. Have a good one.
All right, that was Coach Hale. We'll come back and continue here on the Coach's Corner.
SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab in Yankton has a newer research-based mindset when it comes to treating musculoskeletal aches and pains. We take the time to figure out where the pain is coming from and educate our patients on what they can do to improve their functional range of motion. We administer a range of treatments and preventative approaches that are customized to each individual patient and their goals. Visit us on our website at swatchiropracticandrehab.com. When you need to feel better, visit SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab out by the lake on West Highway 52.
In the lab or up on stage, Mount Marty University has a place for you. From athletes and artists to academics and alumni, together we cheer each other on and work to make a difference in the lives of those around us. Show your spirit at a university that celebrates what makes us different. Schedule a tour at Mount Marty University by visiting mountmarty.edu.
And limitations regarding the rewards program. Visit fnbo.com/evergreen for complete details. From the great big small bank, ever ready for you to earn more so you can do more. Only with Evergreen by FNBO. Learn more today at fnbo.com/evergreen.
A radio commercial for hearing loss is tricky. You see, there are two scenarios. Either it's you, or it could be the loved one you're with. Audiology Yankton. Doctors Matt Rumsey and Kendra Bailey can get you back to never missing a beat during a conversation. They offer the latest technology and free 2-week test drives. Call 605-655-1220.
You're listening to The Coaches Show on KYNT and KYNTV, brought to you by SWAT.
Ladwig. Yeah, that will be it for our live guests here today. And let's go over what's going on. Ryan Moores, Yankton High School Activities Director, already kind of went over it. But we do, and actually that will start at noon. I was looking at Yankton Competitive Cheer and Dance. They have their varsity state tournament. That actually begins in just over an hour at 7 p.m. And then also again Monday at 7 p.m. as well at the Yankton High School Theater. So you have a couple chances to
FM 1021 and AM 1450 KYNT Yankton.